Hey guys, it's Tammy. I was just gonna come to you today and do a quick video and show you guys how I do my alcohol ink creations. I've been working on a series of bubbles, and I've got my alcohol inks here. I'm using the Pinata inks today. I'm not sure exactly what colors I'm going to use, but I've got some over here in little bottles that I have watered down, if you can see those. And I'm working on a sheet of Duralar, which is like an acetate. It's a clear film. And I've just got this little piece of tissue paper under it so I can kind of see what I'm doing. And under here, I've got some cutting mats that I got at the Dollar Tree. They come 2 in a pack. So I've just got those taped together and they work pretty good to protect my work surface, so I can just wipe them off with alcohol and I don't have to worry about staining my little desk underneath or getting alcohol on my desk underneath to take the little varnish off. So what I like to do when I'm doing this is to start out with some alcohol. I just I have some in a little spray bottle here, and then I have some in a little, or squeeze bottle rather, and then some more here. And I just put some down. I really like the abstract looks. So again, these are all the same colors I have over here, or over here. And this is from the Pinata Exciter pack of inks. And there were some other pigments too in there, metallics, but I don't tend to use those for this. I find the metallics can overtake what you're working with, but just to kind of get a idea of where I'm going to start first. Like I said, I put the alcohol down, and I just like to go in and add a couple of colors. Let's start with our primaries. Let's do their version of the primaries. They have the Senorita Magenta, and then I'm going to go with some Sunbright Yellow and some Baja Blue. So now I kind of have a little bit of an 80s feel to it right now. So I'm just going to kind of take and tilt my paper and let these run around, just so I can kind of get a feel for what this is going to want to do. So we're getting a lot of orange. I'm getting some purple over here. Now the thing about the alcohol inks is they dry pretty fast. And especially the ones I diluted. And how I made these is I followed a tutorial that Miriam's Nature has on her page. I have learned a lot about using alcohol inks from her, but I followed a one she had on her page where she diluted them with, it's just alcohol and a couple of drops of the ink. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I put 20 drops of ink for that much alcohol. So, okay, so we got us a nice spread going around there. And the orange, let me get my paper back up there too. Another thing this tissue paper does is it helps you see what your color's doing. Let me slide it out from there. If you were to take that out, and my camera is not going to focus because it has nothing to focus on now hardly, because it can't see that paper because it's clear. It's hard to see. So that's what what that helps with too. It helps you kind of see where you're going, what you're doing, and everything. And this is really kind of giving me a sunset vibe right now. So let's see. Where do I want to go with this? Do I want to make this into more something sunset, or do I want to do bubbles? Let's stick with the bubbles. Okay, so how I do my bubbles is I usually have a soda lid or something like that somewhere around, and I have to I have to keep them hid because Izzy, my kitten, well, she's 8 months old now, but she will steal them. I mean, like, cat will fight you for a Coke lid. But just a regular soda lid, or a little cap, something that's bubble size, you know, however, whatever size you want them to be. They can be larger, they can be smaller. And I just like to kind of sit them on the page somewhere like that. Like that's still kind of wet, and it'll leave a ring. That one was kind of dry. But when it's still kind of wet, it's going to take up some of that ink that was on there. And what that's going to do, you're going to put it down somewhere else, and that ink should react where that was. What you can also do, like this spot right in here is pretty blue. So I want to add a little bit more color there. So what you can do is hold your lid down or whatever you're using to make your circles and just kind of drop some color around it. Let that set for a little bit, and it's going to fan out. And usually I have a little puffer with me, just a little photography thing that you would use to clean your camera lens with, and that's what I used it for before when I did photography. But when I retired from that, it became an art piece. And then you can take that off and it'll leave that circular effect. And there's still some ink on there, so I'm going to just plop it right over there and let that sit and make me another bubble. Now my bubble over here kind of faded out a little bit. So another way you can do this is off to the side over here. Another reason I like to use these mats is you can kind of use it as a palette. So I can put me a little bit of color down there, real light. It doesn't have to be too heavy. And just kind of run that through it. And no, I'm not wearing gloves. I recommend that you do wear gloves because you get pretty messy. I always have stained hands. In a former career, I was a hairstylist, and I was just used to having dirty hands all the time because, like, you can't do hair color without getting your hands stained. But there, you can lift that up and see that we've got that yellow going on there. And my cat just jumped up on my chair. Okay, Izzy. I call her Busy Izzy because she's always crazy going somewhere. And now she's trying to get up on the desk. You can't get up there. Remember what happened last time? You turned orange because she hit the ink and it went everywhere and she got orange on her. Of course, she's an orange cat already. You can tell too much, but I could tell because I was freaking out like cat mom. Like, oh no, she's going to be sick or whatever. But like, whatever. Anyway, I'm rambling. But yeah, that's just kind of how I do the bubbles and everything. And I like to play with it, you know. This part here is kind of wet still, so you can just make shapes in it and then go stick it over here somewhere and make that. And I'm sorry about my squeaky chair too. This thing is like 100 years old, but it's comfortable, so I keep it. Another thing you can do to make bubbles is, like I said, I was a hairstylist, makeup artist, whatever, in a former life. So I always got these in my makeup brush kits, and I never used them, the sponge tips. Never used them. So you can take, God, that cat's knocking over stuff. I'm sorry, y'all. You can get some of your ink on there and just take and dot it. And leave little circles like that. It'll absorb ink that's wet, and then you can come and tap it over here and get a little light. And I just kind of like I don't get too stressed about it. I just let it do what it's gonna do. I mean, alcohol ink is gonna do what it's gonna do anyway. It's like watercolor. I mean, you can kind of direct it and get what you want, but it's going to do what it's going to do. You know, the fun thing about it is how it plays with each other and stuff like that. and just how they interact. I really like that right there. Just have fun. Do whatever you want to with it. I mean, make it your own piece and stuff. And there's a ton of ways to make bubbles and stuff. I mean, there's just a ton of ways to do it. I mean, you can do any kind of way you want to. Another way you can do it is just to put some ink directly onto this little dabber here. If you want really saturated dots, and go in. And it'll spread and it'll work out. Those look a little, when I do it that way, those look a little too perfect for me. So I always kind of like this. So you can use this to kind of I really like the Coke lids. And you can use any kind of size lid to get any shapes you want. And if you're, by using this as a palette, you can just re-wet it with a little bit of alcohol and that color will come right back. So let's use the cap off of this alcohol here. I mean, it's a tiny, tiny little cap. See what kind of bubbles we can get with that. Just get it in that ink really well and set it right in the middle there. See how that's reacting with that? It's just pushing it away. But you still got that little bit in the middle it didn't hit. I just like it. I love alcohol inks. I love the way they kind of spread out. That's cool. I like that. Something up in here too. I'll let that sit there a little longer. Let it kind of gather around the side there. But yeah, that's basically all you do. And you can have fun with it. You can add more colors if you want the whole page covered. You can add more colors around it. Like we lost some of the blue, so you can just add more around. And I really like this purple here, so let's just add some pink or the Senorita Magenta to that. And let's just use our little dauber and mix those in a little bit. The main thing about these is just to kind of play and have fun. I don't, whenever I'm doing art or anything, I don't like a uniform look. Now we've got it on here, so we can just kind of go in and dab here and dab there. You can even go back into where you've dabbed before. I mean, just play with it, have fun, do whatever comes to mind. And the thing about this is it's alcohol ink and it's Duralar. So if you don't like it, all you've got to do is try not to knock everything over or the camera. Oh, Jesus. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't make anybody sick. And take some alcohol, and on this, you can just wipe it off. Now, some colors are going to stain, some won't, but that's the reason why I watered these down, because, I mean, if you don't like what you did, you could just wipe it off. I mean, you can see right there, it comes right off. So, let's just, you do want to kind of watch what colors you're going to mix, because they can get muddied. Like, I wouldn't do a green with the pink, because that's going to give you brown. I feel like my background in doing hair has kind of helped me a lot with art, because I know a lot of color theory. Like, and I even taught hair for a little while. So, I mean, it gives you a good idea. You can just go in and put some more dots in there. Kind of spread it out a little bit. Help it along. It'll spread out on its own, but just kind of help it along a little bit. You can also blow on it to kind of make it spread around a little bit. Now let's put some little circles in there. But yeah, that's just about it. I hope you guys enjoyed playing with alcohol inks with me today. I'm gonna finish this piece up and I'll post it on my Instagram when I'm finished, and you can find that linked below. Hope y'all have a great evening. Love you bunches. Bye.